In a KVUE Defenders investigation tonight, a longtime Austin ISD teacher is under investigation after several former Bowie High School students say she inappropriately touched students and subjected them to emotional and verbal abuse, among other claims. The alumni say what they went through was so disturbing, they're now suing the theater director and the school district so other students don't suffer as they did. Here's investigative reporter Jenny Lee.
Diane Cornwell, better known as Betsy Cornwell, with more than 40 years with AISD, is on paid administrative leave tonight as the district investigates the allegations. The plaintiff's attorney also says they are cooperating with Austin ISD police. Now, I sat down with those former students who told me about private romance rehearsals that involve groping above and beneath clothing and questioned the teacher's use of traumatic memories to trigger emotional breakdowns. Practices experts say should never happen in a youth drama class.
I felt a lot of shame.
It made me feel small.
Looking back, it almost feels like we were not humans to her.
Students deserve a place to feel safe.
But safe is far from how these former drama students say they felt when they were part of the Starlight Theater Company at Austin's Bowie High School. While all of them loved acting, they say they're traumatized by the teaching methods used by Bowie's longtime theater director, Diane Betsy Cornwell.
I was hospitalized for suicidal ideation. I truly believe that that would not have happened if I hadn't been in this extracurricular activity in the company, the theater company.
But the group says it wasn't until they learned that Bowie's new Performing Arts Center would bear Cornwell's name.
And that didn't sit well with me.
It was very shocking.
It was very disappointing to me
That they decided to sue.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
In January, the Austin ISD Board of Trustees,
So the motion passes by all those on the dais.
approved the naming of Bowie's Performing Arts Center after Cornwell.
I cannot think of a better individual to name this facility for.
I can't drive down Slaughter without dissociating, and so the name on the building just was too much for me.
All four alumni say they're in therapy. Their lawsuit filed in late September accuses Cornwell of inappropriate sexual comments, inappropriate touching, harmful and abusive language, assault, battery, emotional and psychological abuse and manipulation, and allowing sexual assaults to happen under her direction.
What happened hurt me.
The former students attended Bowie between 2008 and 2015.
I don't love looking at these.
Andy Haddad, now 27, says looking at old yearbooks
That's my senior picture.
bring back bad memories. During a rehearsal for The Crucible in 2012, Andy claims Cornwell instructed her and her male scene partner to be intimate with each other, lie on the floor and kiss, and to be sensual in front of their castmates.
I was encouraged to get on the floor in the dark, make out, kiss, grope, whatever. We were being egged on. It made me feel replaceable and insignificant.
25-year-old Dana Havlin says it was the same for her during a private rehearsal for a 2013 school play, The Herbal Bed. Dana says the only other people at that rehearsal were the male lead, one other student, and Cornwell.
And then the director instructed us to stop running lines and to just practice intimacy. And at that point, we laid down on the ground and, we're rolling around one person on top of the other person, just practicing intimacy, simulating sex.
26-year-old Walden Hagelman claims many of those intimacy rehearsals took place in the theater behind locked doors, and only Cornwell had the keys. Walden says one of those locked rehearsals went too far.
She instructed the other student to stand behind me, and we were still doing the lines, and we were making out, and open mouths, tongues, and she wasn't satisfied. And as she was egging us on, telling us to look married, telling us to look passionate, he put his hands under my shirt. He touched my breasts. He put his other hand sort of under the band of my jeans.
And I would never actually have students practicing intimacy in a rehearsal.
Caitlin Hopkins is a professor of practice in the Department of Theater and Dance at Texas State University. She is an award-winning actress, producer, and director who has worked in film, television, and on and off Broadway for more than 30 years. Hopkins says intimacy scenes, especially with youth actors, should be choreographed under the direction of an intimacy coordinator. Hopkins says these practices have been the industry standard for about the past 5 years.
It's based in consent work, it's based in boundary work, and it's so that actors can do intimacy in a way that looks real and effective, but is keeping everyone safe.
The former student's lawsuit also claims Cornwell instructed students to share past traumas and use them to generate emotional outbreaks.
And you never knew when those things were going to be pulled against you. And that added to the anxiety and the oppressive nature of the environment as a whole.
I remember having to be excused from class because I was a mess.
Crying.
I was an inconsolable mess.
Oh, just absolutely horrible.
28-year-old Sarah Andrews says one time she recalls being unable to cry during a rehearsal until Cornwell used sensitive information about her parents to break her.
Just awful insinuations about my parents' home life and how it might have been my fault due to some of my, health and health issues and theater aspirations that had taken so much time.
Hopkins says drawing on past traumas to heighten emotions is not safe for youth actors.
We don't ever want to trigger any type of past trauma or lived experiences that are not going to be safe for an actor. Then you're navigating mental health issues and all kinds of things that would not be appropriate.
I think it's absolutely essential for every child to feel safe at school, of any age.
Carolyn Melomakulu is a licensed family therapist who specializes in treating teenagers.
If it's something that a child is still struggling with, then having them go through that experience that's potentially re-traumatizing is then going to have those ripple effects of possibly impacting their peer relationships, possibly upsetting them when they're in school so that then they're not learning as well, or that they're trying to kind of deal with these emotions on a daily basis.
Melomakulu says reliving trauma can have lasting effects and affect students' trust in teachers.
I was standing with two of my other fellow actors.
Sarah now says she still remembers something Cornwell did right before a performance when she was 14 years old.
Cornwell, the director, came over to me and grabbed me and kissed me on the lips, and grabbed the boy next to me and kissed him on the lips. And then the third boy, she just slapped across the face.
The group claims in their lawsuit Cornwell would tickle and inappropriately touch students, that she forced Walden to give lap dances and perform intimate sexual acts in the production of Miss Saigon.
Students deserve to have their bodies and their minds be cared for and allowed to grow up.
The lawsuit also claims Cornwell encouraged Walden to get a spray tan, dye her hair black, and paint it on winged eyeliner in order to look the part of a Vietnamese character in Miss Saigon. But it wasn't just Walden, according to the suit. It claims she took part in racially and sexually inappropriate musicals where every student of color was cast as a black character and told to darken their skin for the roles.
It's offensive, it's inappropriate. I almost am at a loss for words, because just pick a different show.
The KVUE defenders contacted Cornwell about the allegations. She referred us to her attorney.
Good afternoon, law office.
Good afternoon. My name is Jenny Lee. I'm a news reporter with KVUE News. Through her attorney, Cornwell declined our request for an interview.
I don't want what happened to me to happen to any other children.
Opening up and sharing what they went through wasn't easy, but the former students say it's worth it if they can help make schools and the arts safer for students.
I am here to make the dramatic change I wish was made before I got to school.
The group of former students wants Cornwell's name removed from Bowie's Performing Arts Center and hopes their lawsuit will force AISD to institute proper training and monitoring of theater instructors. We reached out to AISD for comment. A district spokesperson says they aren't able to discuss ongoing investigations. For the KVUE Defenders, I'm Jenny Lee.
Thank you, Jenny. Bowie High School had counselors available to students and staff on campus today. Cornwell's attorney told us she wants to talk, but the school district will not allow her to. We'll be right back.